made an executive decision. Well, I hadn't had anything other, but anyway, I am going to do something bizarre, but I'm going to attempt it. Let's put it that way. I am going to attempt to paint an interpretation, because that's all I can do is interpret, of Creation Week from Genesis. I first need to do the canvas itself. And what I'm hoping to find is a good recipe here for a dark gray. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So I'm going to, I'll let you see what I'm doing. I'm hoping I'll get some success here. Okay, let's paint this over where you can see what I'm actually doing with my brush. There it is. Okay. I've got some white, blue, and black. And I'm going to... This one might be more blue than black, but I'm going to do that. No, that's turning out pretty black. Let's get some more white in there. I mean, I don't want it to be a light gray at all. I want it to be a dark gray, but... Okay. Now, what would, just a little quiz here, what would have been before God created the sun, the moon, the stars, before he created all that, what would have been the light? What kind of light would there possibly have been? I think some of you probably know very easily what that is. Write it in the comments, and I'll put the answer up tomorrow. But I think most of you know what I'm getting at. Whether you agree or not, you know what I'm getting at. So, oops, got a little more blue in there and white than I expected. But that's okay. Space isn't all one color either. But right now, it's just a big old void. There's nothing out there. There's just the heavens. So, there is a beginning to the heavens. Where does God begin? He created them. Where was he? Where did he begin? That's just it, guys. He didn't begin. He is eternal. And that's so hard for us to fathom, because we are we're so very temporary in our own on this world. While we're on this earth, we are so very limited, and our knowledge is so limited. I used to get mad, but anymore I just kind of laugh, because there is no separation between God and science. And the ones who try to pretend that there is, you got to keep going back and back and back and back. They cannot find a beginning. No matter what they say, you have to keep going back and back and back. What caused the great explosion? What atoms were colliding? What made the atoms? Where'd the atoms come from? Well, from little particles. Where'd the particles come from? Well, that's what the study of particle physics is for. They still haven't answered the question. God just didn't begin, and he will never end. He just is. And that may be contrary to what a lot of us think, but there you are. I am going to do, for now, I'm going to do the earth white. And we'll take care of that later. It's actually at this point, the Bible says it was formless and void. There was nothing. There was water, basically. We'll get into all that later. But this is the first verse of creation. And it was God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was formless and void. That's verse 2. Now I could put some blue in there, and I will at some point. But there's more water than just on the earth. And this is, it's very difficult to help comprehend. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. So the deep, I'm thinking of as water, but it's void. There's there's no kind of life. No kind of life at all. And it's covered with water. I mean, from what this says. But it wasn't just here. We'll get to that in a little bit. Right now, and if you're wondering why I bothered with the white, well, so am I. It does give it a little bit of a formless feel. This is my ryrie, and it says, all that over verse 1. In the beginning, not of eternity, but of creation. Well, we covered that a little bit ago. In creation of the world as described in this chapter. This marks the first break in the past endless eternity. I'm not going to get this finished tonight, but this is, from what I am understanding, and I am using a study here, because I don't consider myself a sole authority on the Bible by a long shot, but according to this study Bible, there is the description of the first verse as having a big time lapse between it and the second verse, when actually they are one continuous thing. So this is part of that first day. And I mean, he spoke the word, or the universe, and what we call the heavens and the earth into being, and then started sculpting it. I'm going to use that word, sculpting, because it just gives me a way of, I know when I'm sculpting something, I'm actually creating something out of not much of anything. And God said, "Let there be light." Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Okay, when I did that comparison from Genesis to John, I'm not going to paint that in here because God's everywhere. So, I mean, yes, His Spirit is... Thing is, the water isn't only here. And it will be separated. And that's going to take a little bit of... That's going to take a little bit of study on my part. And because I want to present it to you in an understandable way. Okay, the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God... Okay, so there was darkness. This was darkness. Okay, this is dark out here, so this is what I'm calling it. Probably, it was, I mean, God could see anything, but it probably to us would not have been designated, able to be determined from the other darkness around it. I don't know. I wasn't there. But that's, I think, a good way to... And God said, this is something that we don't often think of. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. There's no mention of Him having created the two sources of light yet. So the light is God. And He, I don't know exactly how He did it, but He did separate the light and darkness from, so there would have been like a light side and a dark side, and I don't know how to exactly put that in there. I just won't put anything on this side for now. And is that, if that's clear as mud, you're with me. Now, I want you to have a chance to go look this up and read it for yourself and see if if what you are reading and what your mind is forming and your heart are similar to what I'm forming. And so that's it for tonight. It don't look like much, but it's actually a lot considering it's the first day. And it's a whole universe and world and light and dark. And that's all one day. But we do know that God is a source of light. I probably got some on. Okay, I am wearing the same shirt I wore last night when we were painting, because I am getting so many painty shirts and I need to save a few. I'm using my old ones for this. Well, or ones that are already messed up. This one isn't so old. Joe got it for me, I think, last year, but it is getting, it's got a lot of paint on it. So I hope you enjoyed this, because I don't want to do half of the world black right now. And that's the difference between me and God, because He could do that and He could see it. He could see it before He did it. I don't have that lens in my eye. So I will let's see, this is Tuesday. I will have time, and you will have time to do some studying, and we'll be back Friday. Make some comments, help me out, and let's forge ahead. The thing is understanding. That's the important part.